I'm sorry. Let me take people that have had their hands up. Go ahead.
Two quick things. We've been striving for those 30,000 piece orders, and I feel like this is just going to jump off to that. And also, this is really going to affect our production schedule. These companies that get the large orders now, the 30,000 piece, we're going to be, we have like, say, a 10,000 piece. They're going to do the big orders first. We've already, in the companies that we work with. They're gonna say,
I think some of this is operating under the assumption that every one of your suppliers is going to come to this show.
Well,
And
how it works-
first of all, I don't believe that that's the case.
How it works-
The booth charge, by the way, is $5,000. The entry is $5,000 for a 3-day show. That does not include any of their travel expenses. It does not include any hotel. The show is not doing anything specifically to support these vendors. There's not a subsidy from the show. There's not anything of that nature. Now, there may be groups. There may be groups that do that, but they do that now. And those groups are already on the floor. And this is trying to create a forum for those groups that is more appropriate than where they are currently. There are international groups all over the show that don't have an appropriate place to show, and they are confusing both buyers and exhibitors and themselves in the process. So it's not creating a positive environment for anyone in regard to dealing with those international products. Examples, India is shown here, Mexico is shown here, West Africa is shown here, Indonesia is here currently, and they are showing at FOB prices. And they are not able to fill orders. They don't want to fill orders for the majority of buyers that come through this show. There is one that I'm aware of right now. I'm not going to name him because it's not appropriate, but he has come to other resources to say, what do I do? This is not what I was expecting. What do I do with $200 orders? And he's somebody, if what he really wants is to sell to you. And he doesn't directly sell to anyone here. And those are the types of resources that we are focusing on. Can I say that your supplier personally isn't going to apply? I can't. I don't know your supplier personally. But if that supplier has excess capacity, they need to find a market for it as well, and they're going to find a way to sell that excess capacity.
And that's through us.
But if you're not buying it, that supplier needs to be able to sell it somewhere, and they are finding ways to sell it. And if we can control the way that they are selling it, then isn't that better than having them do it in a way that we're not aware of, that we don't have some understanding of what's happening in the marketplace? And this way, we can be part of it, both as exhibitors and as show management. And we can understand what's happening, and we can create a forum that is as positive as possible for everyone. And that's the idea behind this. Many of the exhibitors of the suppliers that I know that you all work with I do not believe are going to be willing to invest $2,000 in this. Because they have existing customers. I would also say to you to work with your suppliers. Talk to them. Get out in front of it. Tell them that this is happening. And if it's something that is of interest for them, figure out how you can work together to make it, to be a part of it, to make it the best possible thing. Mary, you laugh, but people are doing that anyway. When Karen and I had melange, I know when Sue has melange, we have done this for our large buyers because they were going to go around us. And it gave us an opportunity to participate in the process, and we helped facilitate for a percentage of the sale because it is happening.
Your 13-year-old daughter can have sex anyway, or you can buy a pill for her.
Can I just bring this up? A little different than Martin.
Can I make one point that's a little different? Sorry.
So they will lay out the $5,000. They are many of them are government organized, and that's what's going
And
to happen.
Leslie, they're still on the floor. They're on the floor already.
If it's supposed to be a resource for us, why is it happening at the same time where we're
Thank
supposed
you.
to be
That's what
selling
I'm
and not
trying to
buying?
say.
staggered, that's why it's a little staggered.
One thing
Well,
just
can it
to,
maybe go from Tuesday to Thursday, because I can't leave my booth Monday
Yeah.
and Wednesday.
Where are the buyers
If
for
it's
a
supposed
lot
to
of
be
our cars?
partially for us, it should be at a time, either that or stagger the hours, so
We
that
may
we
do
can
that
go.
actually,
Yeah.
that's something that we were thinking of,
She-
doing like 10 to.
And if it goes to the
7.
pier, then we certainly can't go to it.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
she makes the right point,
Yes.
I mean, just to indulge,
Yes.
I understand theoretically where you're coming from and philosophically where, and you have to project and see where the marketplace is going. I applaud that, but you guys are consultants at step C. No one has invited everyone else to participate to be at step 1. This is a huge thing you're implementing, and I think why everyone is so freaked out is because they pride themselves in being a market bridge for craftspeople, and they've worked over that for 10 years, 15 years, and they are really worried and threatened. And some of it, when you're generalizing, of, well, we're not touching your suppliers because they're small, that's actually not a nice thing to say, because there are some that have huge operations. And I understand that it is going to be a resource, and it will be for all of us too, because we want to establish relationships. But you have to understand, you're also doing it, it's going to also be competition, unless you invite us first. So what you made was a great point of, if it's going to be a resource and you're going to implement it, first implement it with what you have here, which are your customers. We are your customers first and foremost. And we do want to also educate. There could be great market bridges between us and all of the other suppliers, but let that form first, where we know, because you don't want to have a situation where there's no provisional list going out, and all of a sudden you have some of us walking over there, where Anthropologie and Garnet Hill is too, where they've had a great relationship, and they've already come shop with us and said, can you tweak this product, can you tweak this product for us? Absolutely, you've worked 3 years on it, and then you go and see it's over there, and it's sold for half the price, and it's done. You're gonna have a lot of people upset, and you can avoid that if I think there's just some thought. I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just saying you need to make checklists of how you're implementing step C. Because I see you guys are at step C, and we need to be at step 1, at step A, you know, and see how we can implement it that way. And it may be a first day exclusively for us,
That's a
and
great idea.
then a second day where you're implementing and you do screening, and maybe there's a provisional list that goes out very secretly. We all sign privacy statements or something, so that you can really have another check and balance on who you're screening and inviting in. So that's all I'm saying.
I think early and special